Kilo 2, Kilo X-ray Kilo, and the name is Ken.
Yes, sir, Ken. Gosh, I haven't heard from you in quite a while. You've been doing all right?
Sure, Ken. Gosh, I haven't heard from you in quite a while. You've been doing all right? Yeah, I've been doing good. Haven't been on 40 very much at all, though. Been some time on 20, a lot of time on DMR. Not user radios at all. But I developed a bunch of friends on a couple of DMR rooms, and we spend a lot of time talking there. And also, you know, in the nice weather, my other hobby is radio-controlled airplanes, so I spend a lot of time doing that. How have you been doing?
Yes, sir. Been doing great there. Still doing our Friday afternoon thing. And we're out to 2,300 some odd Qso-Vlog air check recordings. And just checking yours, you might use just a couple of clicks more top end. A couple of clicks boost on the treble EQ just for articulation, Roger. You're nice and full dynamically. You're about 3 dB dynamic range, which is just perfect, but you might need just a little more top end, Roger.
It's just perfect, but you might need just a little more top end, Roger. Yeah, okay, very good. Well, here's a little more top end. This is a brand new radio. I haven't really done much in the way of audio, so I might give you some business this afternoon. This is Sun SDR2DX. So just drag that the EQ point up a little bit. I would like to compare it to the Flex, which is my normal rig. Stand by one.
All right, this one looked to be about maybe 2.5 dB dynamic range, just a tad more than what we would normally do, but still it's nice. It's very full, and adding that extra top helps, Roger.
Probably not a big difference, but to your ears, Roger, there might be a significant difference. K2KXK. You doubled with it.
Ken, I think we doubled, sir, just a little bit there. I was saying I thought your audio on this one might be just a tad hot. Just a tad. You're about 2.5 dB, and I think you should be about 3 dB. So before you run off, why don't you check your ALC on this one? Go to ALC with mic gain in hand. As you say the magic word audio, adjust your ALC for 2/3 reading by way of mic gain control. You say the word audio just as a word that you would say in a normal QSO. Don't stress it, just say it, Roger.
Word that you would say in a normal QSO. Don't stress it, just say it, Roger. Yeah, Roger. Well, we turned it down a little bit. So as I was saying, I didn't catch the part where we doubled, obviously. This is the Flex 6500, and stand by.
Alrighty, I lost you a little bit there. We had some Mother Nature disturbances there, but I know enough of what this radio sounded like to be able to maybe check it out with the other radio that you're going to bring on.
To be able to maybe it might be affecting with the other radio that you're going to bring on. About twice as much power on the sun.
Yeah, Ken, I think we doubled again there, sir. Have you switched radios yet?
Ken, I think we doubled again there, sir. Have you switched radios yet? Yeah, it only takes me 1 second to switch. That's probably why we're doubling. You're right, responding to my comment, and I'm already switched this over. So this is the Sun, and don't come back. I'll come back on the Flex. Doesn't take me any time to do it.
There you go.
Okay, this is the Flex, but I'm only running half the power. There you go. Bump the power back up.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously the Sun I thought sounded better, but you're running twice the power on that one.
It sounded better, but you're running twice the power on that one. No, now we're running the same power, about a kilowatt through the SPE amp. So again, this is the Flex 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the Sun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sun dropped off. I think you had a malfunction on the Sun key. Double check that.
I think you had a malfunction on the Sun key. Double check that. Yeah, I did.
Looks like the key is marginal on the Sun.
Looks like the key is marginal on the Sun. Yeah, the problem is it's dropping. The problem is it's dropping.
Yeah, you'll probably need to work on that just a little bit there, because it was in and out. Now, normally, I would think you would have a hard key on both of those. You would have a hard key, so there would be no reason for it to drop out, because the actual excitation would not determine the amp being keyed or not. You have a hardline relay key on that amp, Roger.
You have a hardline relay key on that amp, Roger? Yes.
Yeah, Ken, I could not copy you. You really need your amp. So go to the radio where your amp works. Go to the radio where your amp works, Roger.
Works. Go to the radio where your amp works, Roger. Yeah. Okay, we're back on the flex, K2KXK. What's happening on the Sun, I don't know why it wasn't happening when I first contacted you. The Sun is kind of a science project, as one of my friends put it, especially using the version 3 alpha release software. Flex and the SPE 1.5K play very nicely with each other, because SPE has set a special algorithm for flex to control the drive. And there is no such animal on the Sun, nor does the Sun support ALC feedback from the amp to the radio to control the drive. So it's a bit of a challenge getting it consistently, the drive and the miking align with the SPE so that it doesn't overload the SPE. What happens is I've got a radio switcher that I built based on the Raspberry Pi, which allows me to switch drivers into the Sun, and it also switches all my audio input and output. So that's how I can switch so quickly. But there is no way to automatically control the drive on the Sun. So what happens is when it overdrives the amp drops out. That's what you were hearing.
Oh, I see that. Well, I don't know about all that. I just know that, I've got a hard relay key for my power amp, and it's not, my power amp does not listen for the amount of level. I mean, it is going to be keyed hard on the relay, whether the excitation is 1 watt or 100 watts, Roger?
The excitation is 1 watt or 100 watts, Roger? Yeah, it's probably not a solid-state amplifier, so it doesn't have to be as particular about the drive level, man.
Oh, yes. Well, that's why I chose a SB220, Roger.
I chose a SB220, Roger. Yeah, very good. Well, anyway, it's been great to hook up with you. I'm not going to hold you up because I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to get in the Vlog session for their audio. But I heard you in there. We haven't spoken for so long. Thought I'd give you a shout. I'll go back and see if I can't figure out why, go back to the dummy reload and figure out why my Sun is overdriving my solid-state expert amp. Right?
Roger, Ken. What's your location, sir?
Roger, Ken. What's your location, sir? We're in central North Carolina, and we're getting the outward effects of Ian at the moment. A lot of wind and some significant rain. It's supposed to be better by tomorrow.
Yes, so well, I wish you luck, sir, and I hope all your antennas work out. And what was the radio that was working well with your power amp? What radio was that?
What was the radio that was working well with your power amp? What radio was that? Yeah, this is a Flex 6500. And as I said, it plays very nicely with the SPE series of amplifiers, solid-state amplifiers. So it's my go-to radio. The new one, the Sun, is, like I said, kind of a science experiment.
Yes, sir. And Ken, you got a little bit of something going on there that was kind of buffeting your audio. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but I'm sure maybe it's just a tuning thing or something. But it was kind of chopping your audio just a little bit, Roger.
Something, but it was kind of chopping your audio just a little bit, Roger. I may be getting a little RF into the audio. Hopefully, it's not too bad.
That was pretty clean right there. It sounded a little like little impulse clicks about every tenth of a second or somewhere in there, Roger.
About every tenth of a second or somewhere in there, Roger. Ah, interesting. I'm not sure where that would be coming from, but stand by. Let me drop the power down. Hey, Mr. Bopang.
Station calling, stand by just a moment.
Less power, so... Station calling, stand by just a moment. Any audio to be getting in there. You might let me know if you notice the difference. K2KXK.
That sounded clean that way. Before it was just a little impulse noise that was buffeting your audio. I didn't hear it that last transmission, Roger.
Impulse noise that was buffeting your audio. I didn't hear it that last transmission, Roger. Okay, well, very good. Thanks a lot. We have got a little station cleanup to do here. But all in all, we're pretty happy with the radio. And as usual, you're always a great help. 73, we'll catch you later. 2KXK, clear.
Roger, Ken 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And we will have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you want to hear your audio and hear what might have been happening there, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,300 Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. 73, sir, you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday.